discovering the enchanting old cottage hidden in the deep forest. Once upon a time, there was an old cottage nestled deep in the heart of a vast forest. The cottage had been there for as long as anyone could remember, and many stories and legends had grown up around it. The forest was dark and mysterious, with towering trees that seemed to touch the sky, and the only sounds were the rustling of leaves and the occasional call of a bird. Many travelers had ventured into the forest over the years, but few had ever stumbled upon the old cottage. One day, a young couple named Emily and James decided to take a walk in the forest. They had heard about the old cottage from a local villager and were curious to see it for themselves. As they wandered deeper into the forest, they began to feel a sense of unease. The trees seemed to close in around them, and the light grew dimmer with every step. Just as they were about to turn back, they spotted the old cottage through the trees. It was a small, simple structure with a thatched roof and a crooked chimney. The door was ajar, and a thin stream of smoke curled up from the chimney. Emily and James hesitated for a moment before tentatively approaching the cottage. Inside, the cottage was cozy and warm. A fire burned brightly in the hearth, and the room was filled with the scent of fresh bread. An old woman with kind eyes and a wrinkled face greeted them warmly, inviting them to sit and rest a while. Over a cup of tea and a slice of bread, the old woman told Emily and James about the history of the cottage. It had belonged to her family for generations, and she had lived there alone since her husband had passed away many years ago. As they talked, Emily and James began to feel a sense of peace and comfort. The old woman's stories and gentle presence seemed to chase away the darkness of the forest and fill the cottage with light. After a while, Emily and James said their goodbyes and made their way back through the forest. As they walked, they felt a newfound sense of appreciation for the quiet beauty of the woods and the magic of the old cottage. Years later, they returned to the forest with their children, and together they found the old cottage once again. This time, they stayed for a while, enjoying the warmth of the fire and the company of the old woman. And as they left, they knew that they would always carry the memory of the cottage with them, a symbol of the enduring magic and mystery of the forest.